Ever thought about running a nursery? A life under the sun amongst those flowers. Over the next 12 months, we'll show you the nursery year. The happy, sad, depressed. We'll give it to you straight. I'm Malcolm Hock. This is Eggleston Hall Gardens. So you want to run a nursery? We shall see. This is an A to Z of apples. We have down this line here an apple tree for every letter of the alphabet. I know it sounds a twatty thing to do, but it was something interesting. But the reason for this video is to show you how to summer prune. These trees are on a 106 rootstock, so they would normally grow to about 15 feet. 12 to 15 feet. However, we want to keep them restricted as a dwarf bush, and to do that we need to summer prune. We need to remove all the extension growth. So I'm going to get one of my girls here to show you how it's done. Thing we need to do is to understand where we're cutting with summer pruning. So if we look at this, can you twist that around a bit, Elizabeth?
This branch?
Yeah. If you look here where I'm putting my knife, around there are a group of leaves. Turn it the other way. Now they go, these leaves are all around the base of this plant. It's what we call the basal cluster. You really don't count that, so we're going to reduce all the current year's growth to 1 or 2 buds. This here would be the first bud, this would be the second bud. The buds are dormant this time of the year. It's late July and they're dormant, but they're in these leaf axils, so when we prune, we prune just above the bud, slanting away. Okay, so that just describes what we're looking for. You can prune to 1 bud, and you want to prune to a bud that's pointing in the direction. Well, actually, to be honest, summer pruning, it doesn't really matter. If it was winter pruning, you would use a bud pointing in the direction you want the new growth to grow. This time of the year, these 2 buds may well turn into fruit buds. If you did it in the winter, they would then try the following year to become extension growth. But for the summer pruning, for the purposes of summer pruning, ignore the basal cluster and then prune back to 1 or 2 buds. This develops the little spurs that you're going to grow on. So we'll now get Elizabeth to do it on the tree. So you take a look at the tree, and it's of a height we already want. So she's now looking for all the extension growth. Right, you get trimming, Elizabeth.
So is this the basal here?
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes the leaves on the basal cluster are missing. It's quite a therapeutic job.
Here?
Yeah.
That's all good.
Now this is Elizabeth's first day of summer pruning. So she's much more careful than I would be, because I've been doing it for 40 odd years. 50 odd years. I suppose I started when I was about 7. My father believed in child labour. So we've seen a picture of the tree beforehand. We'll leave Elizabeth now to get on and prune that, and then we'll have a little look at it afterwards. Look at that. That is beautiful. Should never, ever overlook blossom. I can never, never get enough of it. Keswick codling. So there we are now, and there is the finished article. The whole point of summer pruning is for three reasons really. One reason is that by removing a lot of leaf, it allows the fruit that's there more sun, so the fruit ripens. The second reason is that it encourages fruit in spurs, and that's what you want for the for the production of shoots for next year, for the production of fruit buds next year. And of course the third reason is to keep the growth restricted so that we can keep them within bounds. If you look down here, these ones that Elizabeth has finished, you can see now they're all of a uniform height, apart from one where we've left lots of growth, which has been a lot slower to form. So these are all a nice height now. And compare that to the plants that haven't been pruned. It's a nice way of tidying up your orchard or tidying up your trees in the middle of summer. It's nice to see them looking, well, for want of a better expression, undressed. But then that sounds pervy. Do you think that sounds pervy, Elizabeth?
Probably.
Oh God. I think that comes with age. Of course, one of the nice things is always discoveries. And look at that. That's a little goldfinch nest.
doing now in the middle of the season is we're potting on these delphinium clones that we've done by Crown Buds in the winter while they're dormant. Now, I mean, ideally we'd probably have done them about a fortnight earlier, because you can see the massive root in that. It's in a little 1.5 litre pot, so it's gonna go, with that much root, it's just gonna go into a 5, and just for niceness sake I'm tidying up all this dead leaves. Now, just give them a weed as well, taking that off. So just fill the pot ready full of compost. Then you start need to fill in around the main root ball. Now you want all these stems to be proud, because if the stems are submerged too far below the surface, they can sometimes rot off. So these, we want them to be still relatively exposed. So just flatten that all across, give it a tamp down like that. Then I'll probably cane all these up. I'll show you in a little while what we do with ours in the border. But these varieties, they're so robust in habit that you absolutely have to have them caned or supported in some way, because the flower heads, like Lisa shows you here, they get so large on the stems. And we have quite a large variety of delphiniums here, all RHS rewarded varieties, all done from Crown Buds, so they are coming true from clones. So I've got Olive Poppleton with almost like bronzy gold centres to the eyes, and then Sandpiper with almost the black eyes, and then this one is Moonbeam, and it's almost pure white. And if this looks at how large those flowers are compared to my hand, they're just, these varieties are far superior to the strain of like the Galahad and the Black Knight and whatever. They're just far superior. And now I'll show you what we do with ours in the border to keep them supported. Get loads of the bamboo canes and join them together at the top in a point, almost like a teepee effect, around the main crown. And obviously as they're growing up through it and getting larger, one thing you can do, like we've done with this one at the back, is just get a nice little bit of string, like preferably green, just for niceness sake, so it doesn't show up too hard, and then just tie it relatively loose, but enough to keep it sort of from flopping. Tie it loose around the flower head so they can support themselves, and they're just going to look absolutely fantastic. I mean, when the clump gets so large, sometimes they might not actually need it, but it's always good to be safe, because, I mean, the worth of the extra effort of these delphiniums. Like you can see there, that's about 6 foot tall, that one's getting more towards 7 foot tall clumps, and it's just, you can't even see the teepee as well in some of them when they get so large, so that's nothing to be concerned about either.
Due to last winter putting in the shade tunnel for the hosta house, and so cleaned all the beds out in front and around the hosta house, and we've planted up some wonderful hostas, specimen hostas. In 2 or 3 years they should be absolutely fabulous. It looks stunning already, so I just can't wait for the next couple of years. It'll look fantastic. So all along the side, along the edges and the far side, and there's even a few hostas going in this side of the stream as well, which will just sort of blend into the other side. I think it'll be a great feature, and we've had several customers come forward today and said it looks fabulous.
It's a steep hill to climb, there's no one there waiting. It's a long, long way down when you stand on your own. It's a hard road to travel without a companion. As you wind your way onward, a figure alone. As you wind your way onward, a figure alone. brand new day dawns with the promise of peace. Hours to fill till the next one arrives. Harvest the sorrow like a reaper blade cutting. A moment of peace as the final hour dies. A moment of peace as the final hour dies. Down through the dark glen awaits the aggressor, shrouded in mist as the victims appear, watching the ghosts of the fathers of children, of mercy whose deeds in the night time draw near, of mercy whose deeds in the night time draw near. Heart may stand you in good stead tomorrow. Nice ones are not always what they appear. Standing alone by the old sea of shadows, as yesterday's reasons seem suddenly clear. As yesterday's reasons seem suddenly. Old hearts and flames might flicker and crumble. New ones may pass like ships in the night, standing alone like a sentinel watching until tomorrow comes with first light. Until tomorrow comes with first light.
Right, one of the plants that people don't usually divide is Primula florinde. This is the Himalayan primrose. And can you get that, John? Mm-hmm. You can see the pollen in it. You can do it from seed. You can also just do one or two plants from division. And the way we do it, take a plant like this, and you get your secateurs and you chop it off at the ankles or its knees. I'm not quite sure where the joints are on a primula. That's all we have to do. You need to knock it out the pot. You can see it's pot bound here. You see all that red root?
Yep.
It's good and healthy. And I put it with these. Now, one of my favourite tools is this thin curved spade, and if you look at that, it's got a nice curve on it and it's thin, so we can find out where the rosettes are. These are like rosettes of leaves, and we can work that down in there, give it a bloody good bang, separate it, and very often hold it open and work one into the side. And again here. Well, I'll show you actually. You can see we've gone down here, and that one's waiting to be done. You can find where the rosettes break. And just work your spade in and give it a really good sharp push. And we don't want all the bottom root. We're going to put them into smaller 3-litre pots. This plant was priced at $8.95 for a big 5-litre pot. Now, these will go out next year once grown on at $6.95. And Primula florindae. Primula florindae is the giant Himalayan cowslip. Of an evening it has the most beautiful scent.
So obviously now I've planted all the crocosmias out, one of the more important things when you have a nursery hit like here is getting them all labelled in the borders, so that if someone sees them and they think, oh, I want to buy that, they can know what it is to look for. And we do this by using these little wooden tags attached to wooden stakes. Now, the first thing we need to do here is clamp it down in a position. So where you're going to type, you've obviously got the measure there, where you're going to place the various little stakes to do the indentation. And then you just need to figure out how far along you need to start, because you want it centralised ideally, so you get them all right. So you want to place it on a very solid surface first, that's why we're on this stone. And then so for typing crocosmia, I know I want to be 3 blocks in for when I start. So I'll place it, and it's got these little points as well, so I just use the middle of that point in the middle of there. So I'll place it in there using the hammer. There we go, you can see the C already typed. And the main thing is to remember, you have to pick them up and place them down in the wrong way around. You don't want to be flipping them round so they're facing the right way, because when you obviously indent them in, they'll face the wrong way. And so there we've got CR, then the O. And you need to place these very firmly down so it doesn't slip around when you're banging it, because you want a solid, strong indentation. Yes. And lastly, put the A in. And then there we go. I mean, the first O and C are a little closer than I'd liked, but that's fine. There you can see crocosmia. Right, And there we go, finished now. So we have Crocosmia Zealtan there. And here on the floor is all the summer that I made earlier. So I've done 8, now I've just got 23 left to do. That's going to be fun.